الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله. الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظيم سلطانك. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله على ما أنعمت وأوليت يا رب العالمين. اللهم كما أنعمت فأدم وزدنا من نعمك واجعلنا من الشاكرين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله، أرسله رحمة للعالمين وهدى وبشرى للمحسنين، فبلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. فصل اللهم عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهديه واتبع سنته واقتفى أثره بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فإن الحق سبحانه وتعالى يقول في كتابه الكريم: إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا. وكثيرة هي آيات الابتلاء في القرآن الكريم، فتارة يبتلينا الحق سبحانه وتعالى في أنفسنا، وتارة في أموالنا، وتارة في أحبابنا، وتارة في مجتمعاتنا، وتارة في أمتنا، وهكذا دواليك حتى نلقى الله عز وجل يوم القيامة. فأحيانا يكون الامتحان امتحانا ماليا، وقد يكون الامتحان امتحانا اجتماعيا، وقد يكون الاجتماع حول مادة الإخلاص. فتتنوع الامتحانات من الحق سبحانه وتعالى. Indeed, the Almighty Allah has mentioned in the Quran in numerous verses something related to the test. And one of these very famous verses, we have created what's on earth in order to test you who's amongst you is best in his conduct. So without doubt, the tests and tribulations and calamities from Allah are always ongoing till we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this very world, this very dunya is a dunya of test. So never ever think that it's hustle free. It isn't. The akhirah is the hustle free land, yes, but not the dunya. So Allah Azza wa Jal is preparing us to live the dunya without depression. Because you have your aspirations right, you have your understanding right, then you are not disappointed. He already prepared us by telling us throughout the Quran and the Sunnah that you will be tested. And we have different tests. As we have in our life, for instance, the driving license test, as you have exams, as you have the interviews for a new job, and so on and so forth. This is amongst us. Between us and Allah, we have different levels of tests. Sometimes it's a social test. Sometimes it's a financial test. Sometimes it's an ikhlas test of sincerity. And Allah wants us to pass all these tests. What for? In order to be a better person, to be a better Muslim, to be a better citizen, a better wife, a better husband, a better child, a better parent, and so on. So you look at these tests from different angles. It's to strengthen our weaknesses, to make us better people. So one of these tests, which Allah mentioned in the Quran, towards the end of chapters 3 in Surah Ali Imran, verse number 92. لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم. So this verse records the end of chapter 3, the beginning of chapter 4 from the Quran. You won't be able to attain the level of goodness until you give from what you like. And whatever you give, Allah is fully aware of it. So when we look at this very ayah, again, the core of it is test. Allah Azza wa Jal is testing us financially. So when we have the love of money and wealth and gold and silver very dear to our hearts, and on the other side the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which one we are going to compromise? Our love to Allah over our love to the dunya and wealth, or the other way around? When this very ayah was revealed, Abu Talha, very famous companion, his Islam is very, very nice story to read. When this very ayah was revealed, Abu Talha came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, Ya Rasulullah, and he is the owner, by the way, just to give you a bit of background. Abu Talha is the owner of the best garden in Medina. The best garden. Beautiful, very nice, with sweet water, with plenty of palm trees inside it, greeneries, you name it. So it was the picnic area in Medina. The Prophet ﷺ, when he wants to go picnic, he'll go to Abu Talha's garden. And just quickly as well to give you the location, when you go to Medina now, the entrance of the Imam in Medina, there's a special gate for the Imam where he accesses the masjid. That very entrance, put your back to the entrance, it's just facing the entrance. Of course now it's all marble and area of prayer. But this was the garden of Abu Talha, which is called Biruha or Bayruha. So Biruha was very famous in Medina. It's like the jewel of Medina, the best garden. And who is the owner? Abu Talha. Quickly, when this verse was revealed, he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, Ya Rasulullah, ushhiduka annaha sadaqatun lillah. Be witness, I've made Biruha a charity for Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Bakhin, bakhin, innahu malun rabih. Bakhin, bakhin, innahu malun rabih. العرب تعبر ببخن بخن كلمة للإعجاب. So the Prophet ﷺ used this term of bakhin bakhin. It's an expression of, wow, it's so good that you have done this. And he said ﷺ, it is a profitable investment. إنه مال رابح. So you have given this money as an investment. Where to put this investment, in which fund? This fund is dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a very profitable business. It's a very profitable trade which you've made, Abu Talha. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the rest of the story, it's amazing. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, أرى أن تجعله في الأقربين. So it's up to you, Ya Rasulullah. Do whatever you want with it. This is dedicated for Allah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, I envisage that you distribute this amongst your relatives. Amongst your relatives. There's no point to be charitable outside your family, and which is a very common disease which we have. Allow me to say this. He's so charitable outside his family. When it comes to his family, relatives and so on, he's a very stingy person. What's wrong with you? The Prophet ﷺ is setting the scene, the right scene. You want to be charitable? Then start from your family. And the English proverb says charity starts at home. It's the essence of the Islamic, if you want, the core of the Islamic etiquette. You start from your family. أَرَى أَن تَجْعَلَهُ فِي الْأَقْرَبِينَ. Then he distributed it amongst أَقْرِبَائِهِ وَأَبْنَاءِ عَمِّهِ, his relatives and his cousins. He distributed this with shares. So you have a share in this garden and you have access and so on. So from psychological point of view, the Prophet ﷺ wants this to stay, not to regret it, that yes, a stranger took this garden. He wants to keep it ﷺ with the reward amongst the same family, and he's confirming what he always repeated ﷺ, the concept of what? صدقتك على ذي القرابة صدقة وصلة. Your charity amongst your relatives is a double reward. How come? Number one, it's a charity. Number two, it's connecting your blood ties. So if you were to get 10 rewards for giving this charity outside the family, you will get 20 rewards for giving this inside the family. For those, of course, who are in need. So he's confirming this concept, alayhi salatu wasalam. And we've seen this ease in giving. He was not hesitant. If this leads to the pleasure of Allah, I'm willing to give this up for Allah's sake. The best thing you love, give it for Allah. Imam al-Qushayri rahimahullah in his tafsir, Lata'if al-Isharat, commented on this verse. He said, من أنفق محبوبه في الدنيا نال مطلوبه من الحق في الآخرة. Wow, very beautiful statement. If you were to spend or to give what you love in this dunya, you will get what you are after in akhirah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do not let the things which you love be an obstacle from moving forward to Allah and to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Zayd ibn Haritha, another example, after the revelation of this very ayah, he came forward to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, and a bit of background as well. He has the best horse in Medina, the best, the most beautiful horse, very speedy, very expensive, you name it. It's like, I don't know, McLaren or these kind of toys these days. So he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, be witness, and the name of that horse was Subul. Subul is for Allah's sake. I've made it sadaqah lillah. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You see, there's no hesitation. If it's a test of Iman, how close you are to Allah, لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. You won't attain that level of bir until you give of what you love. And Allah used this expression of min. And in Arabic we know that min is للتبعيد. So you use min from or of what you love, not everything you love. Yes? So if you want to attain bir, then you have to give from what you love. But if you want, as Al-Qushayri commented as well, he said, من أراد البر فلينفق مما يحب ومن أراد البار فلينفق جميع ما يحب. So if you want to attain bir, so you have to spend and give from what you love. But if you want al-bar, i.e. Allah, then you have to give everything you love. You will attain closeness to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And this is exactly what we have seen from Abu Bakr. ماذا تركت يا أبا بكر لأهلك? What have you left to your family, O Abu Bakr? He said, nothing. I left for them Allah and Rasul. That's it. Give everything for Allah. Wow. Of course, he's talking from different level. The highest level of iman, highest level of tawakkul, deep conviction, deep trust, and ikhlas. Now, not all people will be on that very level, as Imam al-Ghazali commented in his book Ihya Ulumuddin on the chapter of tawakkul. There are conditions and things to follow. So not everyone can be on that level. But nevertheless, it's a reflection of dedication and ikhlas and commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. Although the test is about financial test here, but generally speaking, it's for everything we love. For instance, now the Christian fasting is in place. So some Christians are fasting. I came across one of Christian priest, and I've asked him this question regarding how do you fast, and he gave me some explanation of their fast and so on. And one of the things which he mentioned to me, he said, we give up things which we love in our fasting. For instance, if somebody is so attached to his gadgets, and who's not, you tell me. If someone is attached to his gadgets, so his siyam, his fasting will be not to use it. I've said, wow, is something never crossed my mind. So, which, if you want, it goes in line with the ayah. Of course, I'm not commenting on is it the way we fast or not. This is not my concern. But from what you love, things which you love, you give it up for Allah's sake. If it's a distraction from getting closer to Allah, then you give it up. Your wealth, your family, and so on. Of course, in accordance with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, without going too far and crossing boundaries and lines and so on. So, Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. The things which you love, you have to give it for Allah's sake. You love. Not things which you want to throw away, you give it as a charity. No. Things which you love. And I'm not saying that things which you don't like, you can't give it as a charity. Throw it in the bin instead. Again, this is unacceptable. But I'm talking about what we love, to give it for Allah's sake. This is the test of Iman. This is the test which will make us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember, what did the Prophet ﷺ say to Abu Talha? إِنَّهُ مَالٌ رَابِحٌ. It's a very profitable trade which you have made now with Allah. It means you have no problem with giving what you love for Allah's sake. So the question, or the big question for ourselves, can we do that? The answer is, according to every single one of us, you test yourself. Am I able to give what I love for Allah's sake? Not necessarily money. Sometimes it's not about money. It's about experience. It's about knowledge. It's about, and so on. Yes? It's about time. It's about dedication and ongoing. So the ayah is about improving ourselves and being better in our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we want to attain birr, so let's train ourselves to give from what we love. And if we want closeness to Allah Azza wa Jal more and more, let's not make our wealth our barrier between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Instead, let's make it a bridge to the akhirah and utilize it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and benefit our communities. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فليتفضل مستغفرين. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه ومن بعهده وفى. أما بعد، عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه جاء إلى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وقال: يا رسول الله، أشهدك أني جعلت حظي من خيبر لله. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he said, be witness that my share in Khaybar is dedicated for Allah's sake. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, again, the same direction. He has given him the right direction, right nasiha, as usual, alayhi salatu wasalam. He said, حبس أصلها. حبس أصلها, it means you freeze the asset. No one is able to sell it or to exchange it. And وسبل المنفعة. وسبل المنفعة. It means you open the profit for distribution. And this is the essence of what we call in Islam waqf. Al-waqf هو حبس الأصل وتسبيل المنفعة. So for instance, this building, if you want to make it waqf, you make it waqf, you can't sell it. But the profits which we get out of it, let's say it's a business, the profit which we get out of it, we dedicate for knowledge seekers, for the mosque, for this, for that. You put the conditions. So this very hadith of Umar radiallahu anhu and similar to that is the essence of what we call waqf or awqaf or endowments, the equivalent in English. And again, it's about giving for Allah's sake. And throughout our history, we have sustained our communities through the concept of waqf. Inshallah, it's for another time probably to elaborate more on the benefits and how can we revive this sunnah in our community, the community of waqf, if you want. Whether it's Mecca, Medina, Bayt al-Maqdis, you name it, everywhere. So how can we develop and improve this and make it even in the UK? How can we make a lot of awqaf to sustain our communities and good causes and good things, inshallah ta'ala. Allahumma ya Rabbi ya Rahman, ya Badi'a as-samawati wal-ard, ya Dhal Jalali wal-Ikram. اللهم نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين، وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. اللهم تب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اهدنا إليك ودلنا بك عليك، ولا تجعل حوائجنا إلا إليك. اللهم اجعلنا من الذين يبرون آباءهم، واجعل أبناءنا يبرون يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا نحقق البر فيك يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا نحقق البر يا رب العالمين. اللهم قربنا إليك ولا تبعدنا عنك بذنوبنا. اللهم لا تحجبنا عنك بذنوبنا. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. اللهم إنا نسألك يا الله يا الله تفرج الكرب عن المكروبين، نفس الهم عن المهمومين، كن مع إخواننا في سوريا يا رب العالمين. اللهم فرج عن أهل الشام، فرج عن فلسطين ولبنان والعراق، وفرج عن ليبيا، وفرج عن اليمن، وفرج عن جميع بلاد المسلمين يا رب العالمين. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث يا الله، أغثنا يا مغيث، أغثنا يا مغيث، أغثنا يا مغيث. صلي وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.